Hello again, everyone. You may continue to call me Twilight Dusk, and welcome to the second part of XCOM Enemy Unknown. We're going to load game. Here's the game that I had before. This update is going to be pretty light on actually doing things, because I've made a few adjustments just to how I'm recording things, and I want to see how well that goes. So this is Iron Man mode, which means that I cannot reload to a previous save. So just in case, my attempts to adjust the setting fail horribly and this video is worthless, I don't want to have done anything that I can't just easily undo. What I can do, however, is show you around the base a bit, now that the game is not nagging at me to do things. If you go to research here, you can see in the lower right corner what our current research is. You can see sort of a progress bar as well as how many more days it will take. And if I decide that something more pressing than weapon fragments has come up, I can go to here, and the other researches I have available, I can just switch to any of them. But for now, I'm not going to change anything for that. Research archives here. Once I have successfully researched something, it will show up in the archives. Every time you research something, you get a whole bunch of text regarding the research, so if you want to see that again, you have the archives. Moving on to
engineers arrived this morning, Commander. We're always glad to have more help down here.
Engineering, and as he just said, we actually have some more engineers, because that mission we did last time rewarded us with 4 more engineers. If we go to build by items, it costs less money to make a medkit now. And it should also cost, it costs a lot less already to make a satellite. It's almost at, well, I mean, it started at 100, so it's at 77% the original cost now. So these are the 2 default items that you can make. More items will show up as I do research. This tab is for weapons and miscellaneous items, such as the medkit here. Once I have some kind of armor available, there will be an armor tab available, and then there's the spacecraft tab, which currently just has a satellite, but it will have advanced spaceships and space weapons and stuff later on. You can also build facilities from here.
We've still got some room to grow up here, but if we really want to expand our facilities, we're going to have to start excavating beneath the base. Unfortunately, the deeper we go, the more it's going to cost.
So this is the base building screen, basically. We can build another facility here right now if we want. Here's the available facilities, although as you can see some of them are grayed out. The satellite uplink is grayed out because we do not have enough engineers to build it, and the thermogenerator is blacked out because it can only be built on steam vents, which are these 2 spaces down here. This map of the facility changes every time you play the game. There's always the access lift, and the areas under it are already excavated. And there's a number of areas that are randomly excavated, and there's always 2 steam vents. If you get to a steam vent, you build a thermogenerator on it, you get a lot of power a lot more cheaply than usual. Every facility requires a certain amount of power to run, and if you don't have enough power, then you need to build more generators. To start the game, you have 2 kinds of generators. You can build a standard power generator, costs $60 and gives plus 6 power, so $10 per power. It also gives plus 2 power for every adjacent power facility. Most facilities like this, if you build them one right next to the other, they'll link together and they'll give bonuses to each other. The thermogenerator costs 200 and gives 20 power. So again, it's the same ratio of power, but it's more power in the same amount of space. The only difference being that it has to be built over a steam vent. I also have the workshop available, which requires 3 power to operate, but it gives extra engineers to my staff. more engineers means that I can build certain things, as well as it lets me get discounts on the things I already can build. And if you build workshops next to each other, you get resources back when building vehicles, foundry projects, and facilities. Foundry projects are something we will get to later on. I'll probably end up building one of these pretty early, just so I can, because part of that bonus applies to facilities. So if I get 2 workshops up next to each other fairly early on, then that'll make everything else a bit cheaper. So the 3 buildings we have right now are an officer training school that's going to let me upgrade my units. I'll get to that in a bit. We have a satellite uplink, which lets us have 2 satellites in orbit. And we have this access lift. Access lift basically means I am allowed to build on this level of the facility. You have to build the access lift here before you can build on the next level, and an area has to be excavated before you can build something on it. Yeah, the deeper you are, the more it costs to excavate, so early on you're going to be sticking to the top, or except unless you're trying to specifically get to the steam vents or something, so you can start building power generation more compactly. There's decisions to be made. And obviously if I build an access lift here, I'll immediately have access to this square because it's already excavated. And here I'll have access to this one, here I'll have access to this one, and if I dig out these 2, I'll be able to get to this one as well. Well, moving on from engineering, we have the soldier barracks. Here we can view all the soldiers we have, much like we did within the mission select, or the squad select screen for the mission. It's ranked by rank, so the squaddies I have are up here, followed by my new recruits. Anyone who's wounded is automatically down at the bottom. So my sniper and that other guy who got injured are here wounded for another 3-4 days, which, because of, especially in the early game, how long it takes before you find anything, they'll probably be back ready for duty before the next time I need to fight aliens. If I go into support, or rather if I go into any given person, you saw what I did before with the customization of their appearance. I can also go to loadout here, which I meant to do but didn't. There's 4 slots. There's armor slot, there's your main weapon, there's your offhand weapon, and there is the extra item. By default this is a frag grenade, but you can make other things, such as this med kit, which I had fully intended on giving to my support unit. Medkits by default only have 1 use. However, the support class can get an upgrade fairly early on that lets them use it 3 times in a battle, which makes them very helpful as field medics. Using a medkit, you can use it for one of 2 purposes. If a unit loses all of their HP, there's a chance they just die instantly, but then there's also a chance that they get critically wounded, that they can't do anything, but they're not quite dead yet. And you have 3 turns to get to them and use a medkit to stabilize their condition, which will allow them to recover in medbay and get back up on their feet instead of dying for good. You can also use the medkit on someone who hasn't died yet to restore 4 hits worth of damage. So, if someone's taken 5 damage from an alien weapon and I use a medkit on them, it'll heal 4 out of that 5 damage. While I'm here, how about I go ahead and customize my new units a bit. For heavies, I tend to use red for their armor color. There we are. And if I go, you can go back to that list every time you want to select a unit, or you can just cycle through them like this. And here's the other guy I need to customize. Okay. Also, here is Officer Training School. These are various upgrades for your squad. Each of these upgrades requires that you have a unit who has upgraded to a certain rank, and you also need to pay some money, but you can get up to 6 soldiers in a squad as opposed to the default 4. You can also get various bonuses to the units. This one, all new soldiers will have squaddy rank by default instead of starting as recruits, which also means that you will get to see their... Well, I mean, I believe that it means you'll get to see their class right away instead of needing to wait for them to upgrade first. Rapid recovery reduces time in medbay. Don't die on me makes it easier for units to be critically wounded instead of outright killed, like I was mentioning before. Wet work will increase how fast your units upgrade, and Iron Will gives will bonuses. Will is a stat that each soldier has. Basically, there are certain things that can happen, such as one of your squad mates dying, that can cause your units to panic. Their will score resists the panicking. And also other things that I'm sure come up later in the game. If any soldiers have died, I would be able to view the memorial, which lets you scroll through all of the units that have died on you throughout the game. I'm sure that this will fill up before too long. And you can also hire more soldiers. Like I mentioned last time, it costs $10 per soldier. You can have a maximum of 99 soldiers. Lord knows why you would need so many. After that is the hangar, which I showed pretty much in depth of what we can do right now here. I can also click on a given ship.
Specific jet within the hangar. You can choose to modify its current weapon loadout to best serve our needs.
Pretty much that. You can click on a ship and you can swap out what weapon it's using. However, I have not researched any new ship weapons yet, so all I have is the default missiles. Once I finish researching those weapon fragments, I believe there's a research project I can do that'll give me a better ship cannon. The better your weapons are, the better chance you have at taking down UFOs. And lastly is the situation room. We can launch satellites like before.
At maximum capacity. Additional uplink required.
The satellite uplink facilities are required in order to launch more satellites. As you can see, I'm at max right now, and I don't have any in storage anyway. The bonuses I'm getting is from having one in the United States. I'm getting a plus $180 per month, as well as an extra scientist and engineer. And for my starting one in Germany, I have plus 2 scientists per month, as well as $100 per month. And because I started here, I have the expert knowledge boost, which I think it makes building the workshops and research facilities more quickly. If I blundered that, I'll put a correction in the description.
We've been picking up some odd trends.
You can also view your finances.
Calling himself commander.
So you can see this is what the monthly income is. Then here is the craft maintenance and facility maintenance that comes off from that. As you build facilities and certain other things, they cost upkeep each month, which takes away from how much money you will get each month. Here's the gray market.
Members of the council have expressed an interest in acquiring some of the artifacts we've recovered. However, we should be careful in choosing what items we release. The research team may not have discovered their true value yet.
Yeah, basically any item that is available to do research on, as well as for making certain items, you can sell for a modest sum. Most of these, mostly it's a short-term versus a long-term matter. You get some money now, but you might end up having wanted to have that resource available later. There are a few items that you can sell that are completely useless to you. So, it's perfectly fine to just sell those off. When we get to those, we'll get to those. There's also requests from the council. Occasionally you'll get a special type of mission from the council. These can range from escorting someone through a battlefield, it can be disabling some alien bomb. There's a whole bunch of different missions that give specific rewards. They'll just pop up from time to time. And other than that, all there is mission control. From here, you can... Well, whenever you're in here, time is passing a bit, so I want to get out of here just to make sure I don't actually accidentally do anything. But you can scan for activity to make that time pass a lot faster. You can also alter the view between what the Earth actually looks like and the holomap view that shows panic levels in countries, color-coded. Like you remember from the satellite screen, Russia is at level 3 panic. You can actually sort of see the orange there on the map. There's also the events list here. This is just things will happen. For example, the ship that I sent to North America will take 3 days to travel, weapon fragments will be finished in 4 days, that satellite I launched will be ready in 4 days, and 28 days from now, the Council will give a report. When you get the Council report, there are certain circumstances where a country will leave the Council. If that happens, it'll happen when the Council meets. The Council meeting is also when you get your funding each month. So, you also get graded on your performance based on what you've managed to do so far. And yeah, I mean, without doing anything that I could not be capable of reproducing, that's pretty much all I can show you guys for now. So, I guess I shall see you all next time.